So it's interesting then that this nature of spectrums, the grapefruit analogy, I think is a good one in that so many different subsects. So both Shireen and Gabrielle, you're dealing with majority female customers, or not? Well, okay. In that case, Shireen, tell me about your customer base from a neurodivergent perspective.
So yeah, I suppose what I think about an idea that everybody being unique and all in a way, in their own unique way, neurotypical, because we always look at things and think, oh wow, okay, that's me. And I think from a nature's point of view, we try and always have sameness because that is a kind of a safety kind of mechanism. But I think for women that have imposter syndrome, a lot of it is based in what happened as early cultural programming, and also the fact that, you know, women tend to experience trauma quite differently. So the way they experience life and the way they view it. And I think that so many women are incredibly clever in the way they adapt. Yeah. So an interesting thing, as I said early on, is most women work with feelings. Most women, I'm not saying all women, because there are a lot of women that are disconnected and they can't connect to those feelings. But each of them will do strategies that will make them uniquely good at things. So you know, I used to work as a nurse. I could walk into a ward. I would know who was going to crash and who wouldn't, and I wouldn't know why. And I would be able to look at everyone, and I could see differences constantly. It was like I was watching different images of them moving all of the time. And sometimes I didn't know what was really real or not real, except I would know that there was a slightly different sense of density. So, but to tell people about those sort of things. So a lot of women have a lot of intuition, but they also don't experience that as being kind in the big world, because when we say, oh, I have a hunch, I have an intuition, nobody bothers to ask them, well, what is that intuition about? Where does it come from? How do you find out what it means? So what happens is they lose connection with that part of them that is actually really good. And they don't know how to utilize it well. And so they make assumptions on that after that.
That's sorry to cut there. I just thought as you were saying that I posited in my last book that every child below 7 is neurodivergent in a massive, like the sort of thing where you're talking about. So my experience is I have dyslexia, and I'm lucky insofar as I had a bunch of strokes and lost connection with everything and had to rebuild it. And this was something I didn't know other people couldn't do, but I was watching myself rebuild my brain because I was having to learn to walk and talk and do all these things again. So the visual representations, I was watching them going, oh, that's interesting. And then I realized that I could hold 3 to 6 different perspectives of the same scene in one thing. And then I also have terrible pain from a motorcycle accident I had 26 years ago. So I'm in agony all day long. So what I started doing was mucking around with the spectrums, so color spectrum, infrared spectrum, anything I've seen, I can paint the world that color, that filter. It's like, you know, show me a filter and I can change that for anything. And until I found out about myself, I assumed, because I had a major brain injury, so I'm thinking, well, look, I'm struggling. So I had just assumed everyone saw that. And it's like, and I had to contemplate on this it took me 18 months to try to put myself in the head of someone who only has one perspective, to realize that what this means to me as a lived experience is that the world, the very nature of reality, is entirely fluid. You hit me with a stone or a stick, fair enough, it exists. You tell me something is possible or impossible, no, you might think that, but that's not at all true. So, dive in on this conversation. I don't want to leave this anymore. Someone, Joseph, take over.